right? The nichsitz on barzel, on the way out, does she have a right to demand them back? Or he could give her the value, right? So it was an argument. Does she have a right? Does she have a right? So we quoted that it was a machlokes tanoim. Rabbi Yehuda says she has a right, and Rabbi Yehuda says she has a right. Why? Because it's called shvach. It's called shevach beisavio. It's what she brought from her father's household. So holding it top. Rabbi Yehuda chnis lo shnei kelim. Be'elev zuz, she brings 2 kelim with $1,000 when she originally was married. Nichsitz on barzel. V'shibchu v'obndu al shnei alofim. And then it went up in value. Now there was 2,000. So who has the profit? The husband has the profit, right? We said nichsitz on barzel. In mosiro lo. If it increases in value, if it takes a loss, he takes the loss. If there's a profit, he takes the profit. But so it went up 1,000. So echad lo tlosa b'ksubasa. 1 kli she takes for the ksuba, right? Because it was written in the ksuba that she's going to get back what she brought from her father's household. The echad no senis domim, and for the other one she pays $1,000. No tloso, she pays $1,000, and she takes the second vessel. Why? B'nei shevach beisovia. Because that's the shevach beisovia, because she brought it into the marriage originally. My kamashmlon, what's the chidush? Shevach beisovia dido havik. He said that before. What does he have to repeat this case with the 2 kelim? He said earlier she has a right to take back what she brought into the marriage because the shev beisavia. He says it says in the ksuba that when you leave, you have a right to take back what you brought into the marriage. But over here, she is getting back. She is getting back a kli. But to do things, to pay money and also to take, maybe that not. Kamash Malon, that she has a right to pay the money and get back to Kli. Bas Yisrael Shenisis Lakoin. Okay, now, here we have to pay attention. Now, just get things straight. A Bas Yisrael marries a Kohen, she eats Truma. If her husband dies and she has children from her husband, she eats Truma. A Bas Kohen who marries Yisrael, she no longer eats Truma. Okay? Now, the question is going to be, she's a Bas Yisrael, she's pregnant from the Kohen, and she didn't give birth yet. Okay? So if she has other children, it's not a problem. But we'll see in a moment. That's going to be a question if she's pregnant. Now, let's say they're slaves. Let's say the husband dies. He has other children. So she could eat truma. It's not a problem. She could eat truma because she had other children. The slaves. So who inherits the slaves? All the children. But since there's a chance that the fetus may be a male, so he also has a portion of those slaves. So why does a slave eat truma? Because of the master. So the wife on the Torah level doesn't inherit the husband. So who inherits the husband, the children. But if the fetus is a male, he also. But we can see a fetus cannot feed truma. Can't be Michael truma. So therefore, since it's a question, since the unborn child has a share in the slaves, and it's not clear which is his slave, so therefore they can't eat truma. That's what the Gemara is saying, the Mishnah is going to say. She forced the yibum. She can't. That we're going to have later. No, she can't eat truma. That's next Mishnah on Amud Beis. No. We'll see. Bas Yisrael shenisis lekohen umes venicha muberes. The kohen dies, leaves her pregnant. Lo yochlu avodeh b'truma. The avodim cannot eat truma, but she has other children because of the cheluk of the uber in the slaves. She uber posel veino machil. Div Rabbi Yossi. This is Rabbi Yossi. The uber pasels, meaning he interferes because he's considered an heir. But he can't be machil. He goes only halfway. Omro lo. So the Chacham say to Rabbi Yossi, Macha she'arato lono al bas Yisrael lekohen. You're speaking about a bas Yisrael married to a kohen, and she has other children from what? From the kohen. So she eats, but only speaking regarding the avodim. So he says, according to his bas kohen lekohen umes, a bas kohen she could eat truma in her own right. She's married to a kohen, and he dies v'nichum uberes. right? And she's all lo yochlu avodeo b'truma for the same thing. What do you have to speak about? A Bas Yisrael who's pregnant, and she has. We're speaking about regarding the slaves. What's the emphasis? The emphasis is because the share of the unborn child. So it makes no difference who she is. She could be a Bas Kohen, she could be a what? She could be a Bas Yisrael. It's irrelevant. Iboilu. Now we have a Shiloh. Rabbi Yossi says that what? That the Uber, she cannot allow the what? The Avodim to eat. What's the reason? She's pregnant clearly from the Kohen. But the case of the Mishnah is speaking about, she's a Bas Yisrael. Why does she eat? She eats because she's connected to the husband. But who is she? She's a Bas Yisrael. So she's a Zora. She's a Zora. You know what a Zora is? You know, Zar? You know, they have the Zars in Washington, in the White House. Zars. A Zora means she's a non-Kohen. She naturally is a non-Kohen. But she's connected with her kids. Well, no. But she eats because she's the wife of a Kohen, and she still maintains that relationship because she had children from the man. So now the question is, but she in herself, who is she? She's a Bas Yisrael. Is a fetus in the body of a Bas Yisrael, is it a Zor? Until it's born, it's a Zor. So if that's the case, that's the reason why his portion, his slaves cannot eat. Because it's as if a non-Kohen owns the slaves. Or there's another, he's a Kohen. Even in utero, he's a Kohen, the fetus. But the only type of Kohen could be Machil, his slaves, he has to be born. Until he's born, he cannot be Machil Truma. And the Gemara will discuss this. If he's Ochel, then he's Machil. That's our question. Is he a Kohen or not a Kohen? Even if he's a Kohen, he still can't. Because to be a Kohen that allow his slave, he has to be born. He's not born yet. He has to be a human being. Okay? He's not a human being yet until he's born. So let's read it. Iboilu. Time of Rabbi Yossi. What does Rabbi Yossi say if she's pregnant and if it's a male? If it's a female, it's not a problem, right? Because a female is not an heir. So the sons, they own all the slaves. But since it's a question, maybe the unborn fetus may be a male, correct? Maybe a male. How? Just listen. You listen, but don't listen and looking. It may be a male, so that means he's also an heir. So that means he has a share of the slaves. And so if he cannot, on his behalf, they can't eat, so none of them can eat. So Yiboilu. Time Rabbi Yosef Mishum Uber b'mei Zora Zoru. Is the Uber in the womb of a Zora a Zor? O Dilmo Yulud Machil Sheni Yulud Eino Machil. A Kohen who's born, he's a Kohen. But what kind of Kohen is Machil on his behalf could they eat if he himself is Machil? Since he's not born yet, the child's not born yet, he's not a Machil. Lamai Nafkimino. So what's the halachic difference in this question? Luber make Kohenis, right? Let's say it's an unborn fetus in a Kohenis. The mother's a Bas Kohen. She's not a Zora, right? Because she was able to eat Truma even before she married the man. Her husband was a Kohen. So therefore, in that case, it's very specific, Rabbi Yossi in the Mishnah. Of course, it was a Bas Yisrael pregnant from a Kohen. That's the reason why he interferes with the Avodim. But if it would be a Bas Kohen married, so there wouldn't be a problem, right? So, what's the halacha? Why does the Uber interfere with the Avodim eating? Omer Rabba, Hainu Rabbi Yossi. So Rabba says, the reason Rabbi Yossi says the slaves cannot, the Ksover Uber Mei Zora Zoru. That's the reason. Rav Yosef Omar, no. Rav Yosef disagrees. Yulud, so that means she would be able to. Rav Yosef says, Yulud Machil, Shein Yulud Eino Machil. The only Kohen that could be Machil, you have to be a Kohen. You have to be born. So see, that means he's Ochel. If you're Ochel, you're Machil. Okay? Yulud Machil, if you're born, you could be Machil. You haven't been born, even though you're a Kohen. Meisvei. Now, we have difficulty from the Mishnah. Because what did the Chacham say to Rabbi Yossi? According to your rationale, that if a Bas Yisrael is pregnant, just as he interferes with the Avodim eating, the same thing would be true with a Bas Kohen married to a Kohen if she's pregnant. But according to, so if you hold like Rabbi Yossi, that a Yulud Machil and Yulud Eino Machil, it's true. But if you understand like Rabbah, that Zor b'mei Zor is a Zor, so the second case, he wouldn't interfere. Right? What did the Chacham say to Rabbi Yossi? According to what you're saying, you don't have to say she's only a Bas Yisrael. If she'd be a Bas Kohen, you'd have the same problem. But according to Rabbah, you don't have the same problem. Right? The Gemara said, Meisvei. Omer lo Rabbi Yossi, Me'acha she'arato lono al Bas Yisrael l'kohen, Bas Kohen l'kohen mau. This is not our Mishnah. This is not our Mishnah. This is quoting a brisa. So he said, according to which, what's going to be if the wife, the widow, was a bas kohen? What's going to be? Are the avodim permitted? Slaves, are they permitted to eat truma? Omar lehem. So he says to them, zu shamati, zu lo shamati. The first thing I told you, I'm aware of that it's a problem. The second, I'm not aware. So Rashi said, meaning it seemingly would be permitted. It would be permitted. If you tell me the rationale of Rebbe Yossi is because a fetus in the womb of a Zorah is a Zorah, so that's what he says. What I said is what I said, and what I didn't say is not what I said. Therefore, if she'd be a Bas Kohen, they would be permitted to eat the Truma. But if you tell me the rationale is because only a Kohen who's born is able to feed his slaves, so what difference does it make if it's the mother's a Bas Kohen, not a Bas Kohen? If it's a male, so who's the owner of the slaves? A person who wasn't born yet. My zu shamat lo zu shamati. She's what? Right? Right? Yeah, right. It's the same thing. Kasha. More doesn't answer. Rabba is difficult. Right? And that's why we were like Rav Yosef. That what? That it's zor b'mei zora zor. Right? That's what he says. Zushamat zelu shamati. So if the mother's a bas kohen, the slaves would eat the truma. Right? They would eat the truma. Amar Rav Yudah Mishmuel. Rabbi Yossi said his name Mishmuel Zudi Rabbi Yossi. Avachom Omrim. Yesh lo bonim. Yesh lo bonim. Ochlim yishubonim. 1 second. Yesh lo bonim. If he has sons, ochlim yishubonim. They eat. The slaves eat because of the sons. Right? Because they're the heirs. Ein lo bonim. What happens if he died childless? Ochlim shemachim. Who is his heirs? His brothers. The brothers are Kohanim. So his brothers own the slaves. Right? So they eat on their behalf. So who are the masters? The masters are Kohanim. Ein lo achim. What about if the one who died had no brothers? Ochlim b'mishpacha kula. Right? Eats because, so this I had difficulty. What if he eats because of the mishpachos? If you learn what Rashi means, because he has the other people in the family that are Kohanim. Rashi says, Ochlim mishum mishpacha. She'en echad Yisrael she'en lo yorshim. Every Jew has heirs. V'chozman shelo nolar uber zocha korov lirushas kohen. You have to say the korov here doesn't mean he doesn't mean other Jews, because if the heir is going to be a Yisrael, then the slave can't eat. Right? We're speaking about the kohen. Every Jew has relatives. So even though he doesn't have brothers, he has a cousin. Right? Or somehow it'll be within the kuna family, because it's always the paternal line. Right? The paternal line only inherits. So if he's a kohen, ultimately it's going to be the Kohanim. So therefore, even though he no sons, no brothers, there's family. So the slaves could eat because of the family, who are what? The Kohanim. Okay? But what is it? Zu v'lo svir leiho. 1 second. The shmul de uba is leizechio. Right? But if you're saying that, but you have to say that the uber, the unborn fetus, has no share, cannot be zoche in the inheritance. We're talking about she's pregnant. If the child is a male, right, and you say the child is an heir, what does that mean? That it should be a problem, right? Because that means, because we'll say if only a child can only be machil if he's born. He hasn't been born yet. Not necessarily. The Kohanim cannot eat. So what do you mean? Rabbi Yosef, as long as there's family, it's not a problem. Even his family is a problem. If you say that the unborn fetus has a share of the inheritance, right? So there's a person here who cannot, on his behalf, they can't eat truma. So why did Rabbi Yossi say, Rabbi Yudah Mishmuel say, according to Rabbi Yossi, it's not a problem? Because if there's no children, they're brothers, and if no brothers, there's family. But still, what about the fetus? So evidently, you have to say, what does Shmuel hold? That a fetus does not inherit. because it hasn't come into existence yet. When he's born, he'll inherit, but until he's born, it's like he doesn't exist. So in that Gemara says, Zu v'lo svir lake. Right? That's what Rabbi Yossi holds. Rabbi Yossi holds in the Mishnah that the Uber interferes, right? But Shmuel holds doesn't interfere because an Uber is not an heir. So Gemara says, I homa l'Shmuel Rav Chona b'garator. Shmuel had said to Rav Chona b'garator. So Rashi says either b'garator means he came from Baghdad, or it means that he was an expert in explaining agarator. That's what it's called, b'garator. Puk aisili be'asoro. Go and get 10 people, and I want you to make an announcement. The emo loch man payu, and I want to say in their presence, because 10 is a minion, it's right. And I want to say in their presence, hamazak l'ubakona. You hear this? That if a person wants to be mizaka to an uber, unborn fetus can be zoche. So evidently, you see, Rabbi Yossi holds that an uber is an entity. So if he could be zoche, so that means he could be an heir. So if that's the case, he holds like Rabbi Yossi. That what? That the uber does interfere, right? Elazu svir leg. So evidently, when he says that the words of Rabbi Yossi, and he concurs with Rabbi Yossi. That what? That the child interferes. Right, exactly. My kamashmalan. So what's the chiddush? The pligi rabbona lei, the Rabbi Yossi. So what he's only saying is, he's saying the Chacham argue Rabbi Yossi. They argue with his principle. Because what does he have to say? I hold like Rabbi Yossi. Evidently he's saying, I hold like Rabbi Yossi. If everybody agrees, so what do you mean you hold like Rabbi Yossi? Who argued Rabbi Yossi? So evidently if Shmuel is saying, I hold like Rabbi Yossi, that means the Chacham argue Rabbi Yossi. Right? Similar to Zumi Pligi. Do they argue? You don't have to tell me, if nobody argues Rabbi Yossi, you don't have to tell me, I hold like Rabbi Yossi. Evidently he holds. They do argue. Similar to Zumi Pligi, do they argue? You have to go with the Bach here. I've Omer Rab Zakai. Zu Eidis Heid Rabbi Yossi mi Pishmai Avtalyon. That Rabbi Yossi said over this part of the Mesor Shmai Avtalyon. V'holdu lo. And it says, the Chachomim, they concurred with him. If they concurred with him, why is Shmuel saying, and I hold like Rabbi Yossi? Yeah? It doesn't say they accepted it. They heard, but factually we don't rule this way. Hodelo, they acknowledged Shmai Vatalion said it. Shmai Vatalion acknowledged that he said it. Right? Rabbi Yossi says, Hodelo, but we don't follow Shmai Vatalion. So therefore, there's an argument. So therefore, Shmuel had to say, I hold like Rabbi Yossi. The Rabbanan argue. And what did the Rabbanan hold? That the fetus does not interfere. Does not interfere. I hold Rabbi Yossi that the fetus does interfere. And you have to put everything on hold until the child is born. Meaning, Rabbi Yossi holds, Misha Eino Ochel is Eino Machil. That's the reason. Yep. So the question is, why? Because it makes sense. They don't accept it. So therefore, Shmuel had to say, that's why I go like Rabbi Yossi. That you put everything on hold until the child's born to see if it's a male or a female. No, it has nothing to do with freedom. Because they eat truma. They're the assets. They're definitely assets. Suspended on what? No, the truma is suspended. But not the ownership of the slaves. Why should it be suspended? These slaves are Canaan slaves owned by the family. Right, but if the family are all women and they're dependent on the Uber to be born, so that means... No, the Uber, if it's a male, the Uber is a partner. If not, the living brothers are all owners. So if they're all women, let's say all the males unfortunately die. So the family is all women. So they're cousins. So the women's, they die after the boy. When the man died, did he have sons or just daughters? There's sons and there's wife pregnant. If it's a daughter, it's not a problem. So the inheritance put on hold. No, we hold Mazakaluna Mezakalu bekono. That means the inherit, they inherit. The uber is an owner if it's a male.
If it's a male. So in other words, you have to wait till it's born until...
No, that's only for truma.
Only, but not for the inheritance.
It's either all the living ones or the unborn fetus has a share in the inheritance. One or the other. I'll give you an example. You have a question of family. Are there 9 children family? 10 boys or 9 boys? And they're slaves. Is there a question what the status of the slaves are? They're owned by the family. Is there a 10th partner or are there only 9 partners? So that's how Shaila. If the fetus is a male, we have an additional partner. If it's a female, only the living brothers are the partners in the slaves.
Well, you said yesterday the Eved Barzel.
Som Barzel.
So that's the
But the discussion, it was only discussed in regard to Achilas Truma, not regarding ownership. Here we're talking about ownership. Who owns these slaves? Taner Rabbanon. Hiniach bonim. A man dies, leaves over sons. Elu ve'elu ochlim. Okay? Meaning you have, right? Meaning you have a wife. So the wife has sons, so therefore her, the nichsei tzon barzel could eat, nichsei melu could eat, because they're her slaves. And the nichsei tzon barzel could eat, because of what? No, because they're sons. No, because the ones who own it are males. Right? But we're speaking when she's not pregnant. What about she is pregnant? He left her pregnant. No, wait a second. Elu ve'elu ein ochlim. Elu ve'elu ein ochlim. Hiniach bonim v'nicha buberes shehem shelo ve'en lu'uber chelik ben. So all the properties are his, right? Are hers. Everything goes back to her. Ve'hi ocheles. She can eat because of her children. What about all the assets? The assets are her assets, right? 1 second. So elu ve'elu ein ochlim. 1 second. The first elu ve'elu ein ochlim we speak with is just she has no sons. She can't because she can't eat. If she can't eat, we'll see. It's not simple. Hiniach bonim v'nichu ber. What about she has children from him and she's pregnant? Avdi mulug ochlim, because she could eat, right? Mulug means the husband only had the rights to the profits, but the actual slave belongs to her. So they could eat because she has sons, because she could eat truma. Kederach sheyocheles, kederach sheyocheles. Avdi tzom barzel lo yochlu. But the assets that were given to the husband, nechelko shel uber, right? Because of the chelik of the uber. Shura posel ve'enu machil, div Rabbi Yossi, because the uber interferes, but he can't allow, right? That's Rabbi Yossi's position. A second. Hiniach bonim v'hinicha muberes, right? So we say the avodim eat, the nechsit tzon barzel eat, don't eat. Because what? Because the chelik of the uber. Yeah. I have difficulty. When the husband dies, then there's nechsit tzon barzel, right? The nechsit tzon barzel, go back to her then, right? Why shouldn't they be able to eat? That's my difficulty. No. Nechsit tzon barzel, that's only while he's alive. Once he dies, that reverts. That's shvach beisovia. That goes back. It goes back to her.
Did we say they're like movables at that point? When the husband dies, they're movables.
They were movables before. What do I mean? But everything goes back to the wife.
Right.
When you pay off the ksuba, everything goes back to the wife. So if everything goes back to the wife, why shouldn't they be able to eat?
Because the problem is she's pregnant. So if she's pregnant,
Then the uber is no better than the living sons.
right? But the barzel would go to the uber, not to the wife.
But you see it before. My questions are even before it says, Hiniach bonim elu ve'elu ochlim. Right? Because they eat on behalf of the sons and behalf of the wife. Hiniach muberes with no elu velo enochlim. Right? Neither could eat. Not because of her, and there's no children. There were children, and she was pregnant. Avdim lugochlim keder shiocheles. Avdi tzombar zalochim ne chelko shaluber. Shuber posel v'nemachlim. For some reason, I don't know. Nichses on barzelo inherited. That goes into the husband's estate. My question is only on the fact, not questioning what it says. To the husband's estate, it says here. My question is why should it go to Yoshei Abal? Why should we had it earlier that the moment the woman collects the ksuba, right, she has a right to demand it back. But the fact is that the Gemara said that's the Gemara on the base. Remember the Gemara said yesterday. All she has a right, she has a claim to it. She has a right to get it back. But unless she takes it back, it's the husband's. No, we had it earlier. Maybe let's say he's magdish it. Let's say the husband divorced and wants to be magdish it. The hegdish is a hegdish because it's like a shibud. She has a right to take it back. Exactly. That's it. So speaking of here, because she didn't reclaim it, therefore it's right. So it's part of the estate. Right. No. So she no, even if he dies, she still has a right to take it back. But until she takes it back, it's the estates. So therefore they eat because of the sons. So now that you have an Uber, so if the Uber may be a male, so if that's the case, it's a problem. Because a male, well, he's an heir, but he can't be machil, because the only person who could have somebody eat on his behalf is only if they could eat. Right? A Yulud cannot be machil. Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi, Shemaviv. You hear this? Rabbi Shmuel, the son of Rabbi Yossi, this is Rabbi Yossi's son, Rabbi Shmuel, says the name of Habas Machelis. Abbas can, Haben Eino Machil. You hear this? The Gemara will explain this. A daughter is not an heir if they're sons. We'll say, Reb Shimi Choy Omer, Zchorim Yochlu, Kulon. Right? Reb Shimi says the males, they could eat. Yeah. Sons. Yochlu Kulon. Nekevos Lo Yochlu. Now, which means, let's say he leaves over sons, and the woman's pregnant. Rav Shimon Choy says the slaves could eat. Why? The Gemara's going to say like this. There's a 50% chance that the unborn fetus is a male or female. That's 50-50. And there's a chance she may miscarry. So if even if it's a male, she may miscarry. That means the child will never be born. So if that's the case, you have a majority saying that the fetus in there is not an heir. So if that's the case, the slaves are able to eat. Because who are the heirs? The males. Even if you're Yilid Eina Machil, but what about if the unborn fetus is a female? No, it's a rove. It's not a real svek. Smoch me, you take 50-50, then you take the miut of mapilos, and you associate it with the 50-50, so you have majority. Because you're associated with the 50-50 on the side that it's a female. Right, that's the Gemara number base. Okay, that's Rav Shimon Choy. If you have all males, if she's pregnant, the slaves eat. Cool in the cave leochla. But let's say he only left daughters. You got it? Because the unborn fetus may be a male. So if it's a male, he's an heir. And no, not in one thing.
If it's a female,
I understand that, but he may be. If he's a male, that means he's the heir. They get nothing. He's the only heir.
right.
And if he's the only heir, but he may not be. It doesn't make a difference. Shem yimtzu ubezocher, vein lebonos b'mokum aben klum. Right? Because if he turns out to be a male, the daughters who are alive, they're not heirs. Right? A daughter doesn't inherit if there's a son. Mayu shem yimtzu ubezocher, tepkeled in the kebenami poslo. What do we have to say? Because it's a male, even it's a female. If let's say the Uber is a female, and we say, oh, Yulud cannot be machil. So she has a share in the slaves. So she also, the slaves cannot eat. They're all females, and the Uber and the fetus may be a female. It's a problem. What do you say? Because it may be a male, even if it's a female, they can't eat the slaves. Because a fetus cannot, they can't eat truma. And that was Chadavod Kamar. Chad, firstly, in the Kevenami post. V'od, Shem Yitzuzocher, Vein Lebonus Mokaba Ben Klum. It's only like that's like putting the nail in the coffin. Firstly, It may be a girl. It may be a male. If there's a male, there's nothing to talk about. The daughters here, they have no relevance to the whole thing. It's like these slaves don't have a master regarding Truma. In addition, first there may be a daughter. In addition, maybe a male. If it's a male, then there's nothing to talk about. It's a dava poshut, because they're not even heirs. The living daughters have no value. Right. Right. It says, Zchorim yochlu. It says the males are permitted to eat. Well, now we have a problem. The Gemara is going to ask. Zchorim, Reb Shimon Choy says, if they're all the sons of males, they can eat. But we already said that an uber cannot be machil. Right? An uber cannot be machil. I boiku uber, but she's pregnant. And if she's pregnant and maybe a male, that should create a problem. So why do we say the slaves could eat if you have only sons? The fetus may be a male. So if he's a male, that means he has a share in the inheritance. Correct? Well, forget about the female. If he's a male, she has a share in the inheritance. And an unborn child cannot feed his slave. So why does Rishim B'choy say if it's all males, the slaves can eat? It may be a male. On that Gemara, Sovar and Choshen Lemiuta. It's a mute. So Rashi explains. L'shem yezoch v'yesh chelak ben de bosa ruba as linon. On the kavis o mapilus. You have 50% of males, 50% females. And even then, she may miscarry. So that means you have 50-50 plus even it's a male. The woman may miscarry. So if she miscarries, that means there's no heir. Even it's on a male. So that minimizes the 50% of the male side. We could say factually we do make. We take the mir into consideration. You know something? On a Torah level, really, the male shouldn't be able to eat. But in our situation, they could eat. What do we do? Now, if you have minors, right? You have brothers, a man dies, he has older children, he has minor children. Until the minors could fend for themselves, what does the court do? They appoint a court-appointed guardian. So how does he support them? So the Bezdin has to carve out a piece of the estate, so they divide the estate before they become adults. Right? So if that's the case, whatever goes to the adults is theirs, whatever goes to the minors is theirs. It's the same thing. Just as they carve out a piece for the minors, they carve out a piece for the unborn fetus. Because why is the unborn fetus better than the minors? Correct? So if that's the case, if you have schorim, since the Bezdin can carve out a piece to reserve for the child when he eventually be born if he's a male, so therefore the slaves which you're feeding, whose slaves are they? They're the slaves of the sons, the living sons. Therefore they can eat truma. Read inside. And they choose a proper portion for them. Higdilu, well, when they become adults, yichol limchos. But when they come, let's say they didn't like the way the court shared it, divided it, they have a right to undo it. Rav Nachman di Deomar, that's what Rav Nachman said in the name of Shmuel, but Rav Nachman personally holds, Higdilu ein yichol limchos. Tim Kain, ma'kor bezdin yofeh. If you're going to do what the court does, the court will lose its legitimacy in the community. Therefore, whatever they so, therefore it's decided. So okay, so that's how we answered it. If they're all males, the court sets aside a piece for the unborn fetus. Therefore, the slaves that are left, they can eat truma because of the males. Okay, it's clear.
So they're assuming that the Uber is going to be male.
Even if the Uber will be male, we can work it out because the court sets apart a piece for him. Right.
And if it turns out to be a female...
No, so then they'll add it back. They'll give it back to them. Finished. Who's that? Somebody's inside the... You want to go sit in my office? Somebody's listening in there. Did you hear yourself snoring? Oh, that must have been when you hit your head to the table. Okay. Somebody's in there listening? How'd it go off? Who? Ah, okay. So Mer says, Leimed Rav Nachman Tanoi. What Rav Nachman says seems to be Machlokes Tanoim. Lo, the Kuli Almo is to Rav Nachman. Everybody holds like Rav Nachman. Because that was saying, because according to the Tanakama, Rabbi Yossi argues with Rabbi Shimi Choy. Shimi Choy is even if the son's no problem. So the other ones are arguing, saying they're arguing whether you accept Rav Nachman's Takona. Mer says, Hocha b'choshin li miuta kameflagi. Yeah? The question is, are you chosh for miuta? Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi Omer, Mishum Oviv, Habas Machil, Haben Eina Machil, right? Rabbi Shmuel said the name of his father. That a bas, if there's a bas, the avodim could eat, Haben Eina Machil. It's more asked, Maishna Ben Lo Machil. Why, if there's a ben, can't avodim eat, the slaves eat? Shem Chelko Shaluber. Because an unborn fetus, what, cannot, he's an heir, but cannot give the avodim to eat. So basnami lo tachil. Nechelko shluba, you have the same problem. Because monavshach. If it's a male cannot feed. An unborn male. It's a female also. Omer Rabbi Hochim Nechos Muoti Maskinon. Yeah, this is interesting. What's the halacha? You're listening. Let's say you don't have enough, the estate is a small estate, and there's only enough to part of the ksuba that a man has that he will provide from his estate to support the daughters until they become adults. Right? Let's say there's only enough in the estate for that, nothing more. So we don't allow the boys, the men, to take the estate, and we say, so you guys go beg. The court says to the children, you want to support you, go beg. And we take this money, we give it to the daughters. We give it to the daughters. Okay? Omer Rabbi Hochim Nechosim Muotim Askina, going to Ika Ben Badei Bas. And you have a son together with a daughter. So who's the owner of the estate now? The owner of the estate is what? Is the daughter. Because the son, we took it away from the son. Because the son was sending him out to beg. Mor says Monavshach. So, and we say Monavshach. If the unborn fetus is a male, lo odif mehai dekoi, he's not better than the son that's alive. What do we say to the son that's alive? You have no share in the estate. So the unborn fetus that's a male, we also says he has no share in the estate. So therefore, why? So it's like you only have one heir. Who's the heir? The heir is the daughter. The basi. What?
They've taken away that ownership
from the male.
From the living people.
So if you take away from the living, so even if the unborn fetus is a male, we also took it away from him.
Exactly.
So it's okay. So that's why Reb Shmuel Reb Yosef says the name of his father, that if there's a daughter where it's a small estate, so there's no reason why the Eved came, because she inherited the slave. I basi amayochlo, and if it's a bas, why could the slave eat? But that can't drabonon. Kamadlo nofaklo aver olam lo tkinu rabonon. So therefore what? What's the more saying now? But if it's a daughter, it's a problem. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how they divide it. They split it.
If there's a daughter, only if daughter and son.
No, we're saying we have a son and a daughter, and now she's pregnant. So if the fetus is a male, it's not a problem because the fetus is no better than the son that's alive. And what if it's a female? That's the problem because it's a female. So the female is an heir together with what? With the living daughter. Oh, no, that's what we're saying. The court gave it to her. So if the court gave it to her, the slave belongs to the daughter. The court never gave it to the unborn fetus if it's a male. Right? So it's like you only have one heir. Who's the one heir? The living daughter. So therefore the slave could eat truma on her behalf. Okay, it's good. Because she's a bas Kohen. She's a bas Kohen. It's good. Yeah. Yossi, yeah, what's going on here? No, we're talking about bas.
Oh, the one with the baby born.
We're talking about the heir.
There.
The heir, the living child would say. If there's sons, it's a problem. Right? Only sons. But if it's a daughter, we're speaking of the chosim u'atim, the daughter is the only heir because we took her away from the sons. So we say, if the fetus is a male, the fetus male is no better than the living male. And if it's a girl, they never gave it to the unborn girl. They only gave it to the girl that's alive. So you have like one child. Okay? One second. That's what they could eat. Maya Kimter, so what do we establish? We speak out the chosim u'atim. The reason why Rishimi Choy says, the reason why the slaves can eat if you have a daughter, because it's a small estate. So we took it away from the men. Eim Seifa, it says, Shemi Yimtsu Ubezocher, Vein Labonos B'mokum Ben Klum. It says, wait a second, it says in the Seifa, one second, what does it say in the Seifa, Rega? Shemi Choy Yom Eschorem Yochelu Kulim the Kavis Lo Yochelu. Vein Labonos B'mokum Ben Klum. This is Reb Shimi Yochai. Right? Shimi Yochai says, the men eat, Zchorim Yochlu, Kulon. The caves lo Yochlu. Shemi Yimtza Ubezocher. But if we're saying, if we're saying it's a small estate, what do you mean it may be a male? The male doesn't get. And we just said the unborn male can be better than the living male. Right? Right? Ajam the chosim u'atim bonus ninu safe aslan the chosim merubin the chosim u'atim the bonus ninu. Enochanam stop. We're speaking about the safe. Speaking about it's a large estate, and the ratio speaking is a small estate. So Mara says in the chosim u'atim bonus ninu. You mean to say that if you have a small estate, it belongs to the women and the men get nothing? Let's say the heirs, the men, they sold off the properties. Yeah, when you had a small estate, Masha Mochru Mochru, so we have a problem. So you see that we don't take it away from them. It says if the males go, it's small, and they sell it off, they preempt the sisters, it's a sale. But if we said we carve it out, we take it away from them, why is the sale a valid sale? They sold something that doesn't belong to them. So evidently we see whose slaves are they? They're the slaves of the males. So if that's the case, how could you eat when you have a daughter? The unborn fetus may be a male. So if it may be a male, the unborn fetus can't be machil, right? So elamai bas tiktoni im. What's this? What's it? My shemachru mochru elamai bas tiktoni aim. No, which means they means the wife, the aim, the mother, the one who's pregnant. The mother who's pregnant could be machil nichsim luk shelo. Kidech shoyso cheles v'ben eino machil es avdi tzon barzel nichelko sheluber. That's what it means. Ihochi, the Gemara says Ihochi hein Reb Yossi, kula Reb Shmuel Reb Yossi ktoni lo. That's what Reb Yossi said. Reb Yossi differentiated between what? Between the males and the females. So he says, if that's the case, that's Reb Yossi. No, we're saying no. That's the reason why Nichsit on Barzel, they cannot eat. If it's Nichsit Melug, the mother, because of the mother, it's hers, they eat. Nichsit on Barzel, they don't eat. Yeah, okay. Now we're speaking about, somebody asked me about a Shemeres, you asked me, Judah. Ha'uber va'yovom ve'ersin. Va'cherish u'ben teshonim v'yom echod. Post lo machil. Yeah, what happens? A woman's pregnant, and she's a Bas Yisrael, right? So if she has, when she gives birth, right, she'll be able to eat truma because she has a child from the Kohen. But until she gives birth, she cannot eat. Can't eat. What about her husband dies and she's a Yevama? So the man, she's not yet, she's no longer a wife of a Kohen. She's a Bas Yisrael. Even though there's a Zika, right? But that's not a wife.
So the brother could be a Kohen.
No, not could. He is a Kohen. Now he could be, even though he's a Kohen, she still cannot eat truma because she's not married to him. Yibum didn't take place pre-Yibum. That's what, I know. The Mishnah is right, right? Okay, you're giving your certification to the Mishnah. The Mishnah is right. What if she's only in Arusa? Also, she can't eat truma. She has to be fully married. What about Hacherish? She's married to a deaf mute. Also not, because it's not a marriage on a Torah level. Because he's considered an unstable person, the Cherish. Okay? They went through the motions. Rabbinically, it's a marriage. Ben Yov Mishon of Yom Echad. Right? A 9-year-old, he had relations with her as a Yovam. As a Yovam, still. Postlin v'lo machilin. In that case, she cannot eat. 1 second. What's the case? Ben Teshon of Marim Forishlo. Because we don't recognize his Yibum until he becomes an adult, because there's a chance he may be a Soris when he gets older. What happens? He turns out to be not a, meaning he's like a eunuch.
Well, if he's had relations with others, he can't be.
No. Whatever it is. He can be sterile. Let's say he turns out to be sterile. Has nothing to do with it. Okay? Sofik, right, 1 second. Sofik, right? Beteshon of Yom Echad. Sofik shu beteshon of Yom Echad. Sofik ain't a beteshon of Yom. Excuse me. Sofik, I made a mistake. Postal Sofik shu beteshon of Yom Echad. Sofik ain't she'eno Sofik. That's the reason. She'eno. There's a Sofik. Was he 9 years old? Was it an act of cohabitation? No. If he's 9 years old, he can't. She can. She's right. I don't know why she can. What are we talking about? This is the brother of a Kohen, evidently. It's within Yibum. Oh, no. She's a Bas Kohen, and she was raped. Or she had relations with a child. Let's say it was a mamzer. So if he's less than 9 years old, the act is not a sexual act. She's not defiled. So you have a suffix. A suffix, was she defiled? Was she not defiled? She's not permitted to eat truma. Right? Suffix heavy be Sarah suffix low heavy. What about, there's a suffix, let's say he was a Yovam. And the question, did he reach puberty, and therefore it's an act of Yibum? Or did he not reach that? Well, let's say he was Makadasher.
Okay.
Right?
It's 9 and a half?
No, he's 13. But 13 without puberty is nothing. He's a minor. So it's suffix. Did he bring 2 Cyrus, 2 pubic hairs? Did not. Nofel abais olav al bas ochiv. Right? He was married. There was a cave-in. He died, and the daughter of his brother died. And he had a wife, a co-wife. So there's a question, is she Soras Bito? And there's a brother. We had this before, right? A brother is married to somebody's niece. Right? A brother is married to his brother's niece. Now he has another wife, a co-wife. Brother's daughter. He's married to his niece, his brother's daughter. Now there's a cave-in. And if his niece died first, and then he died, they're both dead. So then the co-wife, at the time that he died, wasn't connected to the niece any longer. Well, we don't know. There's no way to determine. So now we're speaking about so the brother can't do Yibum. Right? The surviving brother, because she may be Saras Bitos. It may be the co-wife of his daughter. Because if she died first, that means the surviving wife, the other wife, falls to Yibum to the surviving brother. Because when her husband died, she was no longer the co-wife of the daughter of the living brother. Right? But there's no way to determine. Well, let's say the brother died first. That means if he died, that means when he died, she and the daughter were co-wives. Atzaras Bas, the co-wife of an erva, doesn't fall to Yibum. Right? That's right. That's what we said earlier. So there's no way to determine that. So what does the tzara receive? She receives chalitza, not Yibum. We'll stop here.